There are two main types of jobs when you come to America for immigrants to do. These are classifications. These two I'm going to talk today. And I'm going to share with you the tricks on how to get them. Especially one type of these two types I'm going to share today. There are what we call non-professional jobs. It's not that they are not professional. It's just the job you just go, you get your money, warehouse, you just do at the restaurant. Just the quicker job you get few hours, you get your how much per hour, minimum dollar job sometimes. That's all. That is not a dream job for many of you. The other type of job, we are talking now professional jobs. And I'll focus today on how you can get these professional jobs. How can you be competitive? Where can you find these jobs? What keywords can you use when you are searching for these type of jobs? And how sure am I to tell you this? Because these tricks I'm going to share today are some of the tricks I used myself to get many jobs. Even now, if I'm looking for another job, I'll use the same tricks. And they are proven to help many people. I've tried to coach them or to guide them to get the professional jobs. This is EBM, Ernest Boniface Makulilo. Welcome again to the show. Okay, let's continue. When you arrive in the United States, and this is not just United States, even if you go to Canada, even if you go to Europe, your dream job, you will not get it right away. You have to come with the mindset that I'm coming here, I want to excel myself. When you say I'm relocating from one country to another, especially from African countries, Asian countries, to America, to Europe, to Canada, wherever those countries you are going, deep in your mind, in your soul, you have to make a decision that I'm going to start over. That decision will help you from depression. That decision will give you a new mentality. Trust me, it is very frustrating, but sometimes it is an opportunity to start all over. Just assume today you have masters, you have bachelor degree, and you take the opportunity to go back to high school with the same knowledge you have, but you're going to be high school. You are starting over with that experience. It is frustrating to hang out with youth, and sometimes maybe things will be low of your standard, but it's another opportunity to start over. So now coming to America, going to Canada, going to Europe, then you are going to start over in terms of your career. It is frustrating, but it's an opportunity to come with a new aggressive nature, to take everything you have, to be humble, to find different tricks from the beginning, to build everything on your own. So the first mindset is, I'll go and work to any job as long as that job is legal, as long as I can be able to perform according to what is required. I can do that. So that's why, despite having bachelor's degree, despite having master's degree, not just because you are coming from a foreign country, they don't value you, that's why you are starting here. No. Even Americans themselves, college students are working at Walmart. College students are working at restaurants. College students work at warehouse, who are born and raised here in America. So don't assume that I'm just coming here, or these people, they don't value my education. It's not just they don't value education. Number one is you don't have work experience in America. Why should they trust your work experience from a small village in Tanzania? Why? You are using different technology. You have different way of life in terms of the how you treat people, customer service and everything. Why should you just come from there, that experience, to count it here? It is practically impossible. Just take the example. You are someone dealing with counseling, have a degree in counseling, in the social work, those kind of things. You come in America. It will be difficult for you to come right today and just start to become a counselor. Why? You must get a state certification, a license to practice. You must know the rules and regulations and what is required, what is not required, what should be done in the counseling room according to the American laws. And above all, you must know the privacy law. In our countries, we don't care about the privacy law. We don't care much. Someone is talking in confidence, you go to the neighbor, so came, was my customer today, someone was this, you start gossiping. You cannot do in this context. There are rules and regulations. And even the culture is different. If someone, for instance, has a problem between a man and a woman and there is physical abuse or psychological abuse, in some cultures, people don't care about that. And it's not a big deal. You go to the police, you go everywhere. So you don't respect your husband? That's why he's slapping you. But here it doesn't matter. No matter what happens, a woman could not slap a man and a man could never slap a woman. If you do that, that is a problem. No matter whatever someone does, but you come with your mentality of counseling and you are from male dominance culture where a man to slap a woman is normal. Here is not. So you cannot counsel American woman that, oh, you have to obey to your husband slapping you. Where are you going? Where are you going? So that's why you needed to come here and get a new experience. So when you come here, you will start from the scratch. Working on these jobs. Make sure when you are getting these jobs, respect them. Because work experience is not about the title. When they have to go and call your supervisor, when they have to write to your supervisor, prior to your supervisor to get the recommendation, they are not looking about to confirm the title of your job. No. They are looking, is this person coming to work on time? Does this person respect his supervisor? Does this person reliable person? Does this person is a thief? Does this person is a trustworthy person? Can this person respect the junior people? Can respect the supervisors, the superior people? If there is no anyone around, can this person do the right thing? Those are some of the reasons why they want to get the recommendation from a person who is already here. So that's number one. So you have to start over. Get these jobs, do whatever it takes, but be professional. Then we come to the second part. While you are doing this type of jobs, you will be starting applying for other what we call professional jobs. The jobs which you can become a program manager, become director, becoming a teacher, real professional jobs, not these just like minimum dollar job. So starting to that phase, when you're going to phase 2 to start looking for this type of jobs, because of your work experience or because of education, some people will require to go and get some licenses or certifications. If you're accountant, you want to become, let's say, CPA, you have to do that. If you're a lawyer, you have to get a bar exam. If you're a nurse, you have to get a license, registered nurse. There are certain jobs, if you're an engineer, you have to do that. But there are certain jobs, they don't care your prior experience. If you want to become selling insurance or to want to work as a realtor, there are exams and licenses you have to get to be able to do those. There are those kind of exams. If you're in IT, you can work, but if you want to get more money, you have to do the Cisco and other certifications. You have to do those. But there are jobs which don't require certifications. You can apply right away. So these are the tricks which work for me and have worked for so many immigrants. Remember, when you are going to apply for the professional jobs, the competition is going higher. Very, very strong. Why? Because number one, many people don't quit the professional jobs every single day, just like how people quit the jobs in minimum dollar job. The minimum dollar job, I can go today and, oh, I'm feeling tired, I can quit. I can go to another staffing agents, they can arrange, I can get another job. Simple, I can do that. But when people have a full-time professional job, in most cases, that is when they are starting building their career. That is when they are starting living the American dream. In most cases, those people, they are going to get a very brand new car through a loan, auto loan. People are going to get a home loan, which is mortgage. Because you cannot get a mortgage just for a job which you work here 2 days, next week you are going to another. They want to have sustainable income. And they trust where this person can be able, has been working with this organization, so that cannot quit quicker. So, if you have a mortgage, if you have $40,000 vehicle, brand new, you have that amount of auto loan you have to pay with a good insurance, and then you have a home loan, $200,000. So you have $250,000 to $500,000 on loan. So when you have the full-time professional job, people don't quit randomly. Yes, still people quit the job. I don't say they don't, but they quit when they get another good job. But they don't just, they wake up in the morning, oh, I quit. No, it's a process. And hiring those people to replace them, it is a longer process. It can take a month or 2 month advertisement. Doing the interviews, first round, second round, even the third round. So it's a longer process. This is different from going to the warehouse. I can apply today, I can start the job today. But those professional jobs is a longer process. Even the orientation is a longer, can be 2 weeks orientation or a month orientation. So, many people are applying for those jobs, but the process is a longer process. So don't quit your job and say, I'm starting applying for jobs, these professional jobs I'm going to get within a month. Trust me, you might be surprised. You might apply for certain jobs, you might not get it for 6 months. So while you have this temporary or the jobs you are working on minimum dollar job, you are looking for these professional jobs as immigrant, this is what you need to do. Number one, you have to learn to create a resume according to the Western standards. Does that make sense? You have to learn how to make resume in the standards of the country where you are. You are coming from Africa, you are used to resume, name, date of birth, marital status, ID number, your photo, gender, number of children, religion. They don't care all those kind of personal information. They want your name, your email address, your phone number. Full stop. They don't care where you were born. They don't care the photo you're going to put there. You have to know how to put work experience. We call it CV, curriculum vitae, in our countries. Here we just call resume. It's a difference between resume and the CV, but here nobody say, this is my CV. They will say, this is my resume. So you have to learn how to write resume or CV depending on the country where you are. What are the standards? What is the format? You have to blend in to compete in their own backyard. You cannot compete with Americans while you are writing resume like African. You have to write resume according to what they want. There are so many templates online. But if you want to go to the next level of competing, it's very easy. Go online. There are professional people who are writing resumes for people. You pay $10, $15, $20. Someone will ask, give me your 2, 3 resume, or they ask a few questions. They are going to write a resume. These people are professional, and that is their job. You can do that. They will take your resume to the next level. So that's number one. Number two, you have to have people as references who are already in America, who were your supervisors. Don't start using resumes, and on your resume you put references people who are in Africa. Yes, you can put work experience back in Africa, but majority of the work experience must be from here. You can add some of there, but those should not be the main one. While you want to work with the people in American context, you are putting the customer service experience in Ghana. It's okay. But what about here? So that you can call your supervisor to confirm. That's another thing. The third thing which you need to know is the language you are using. Try to use the language which is mostly professional used in that particular country. For instance, instead of saying I did the field or attachment practical training, that when you were at university you went to do attachment to a certain organization for 2 months, instead of using those terminologies you are using in your country, you come here, you say I did the internship at this organization for 3 months as this position. Not a field attachment, not whatever. Those are here that we call internship. So those are some of the things to start with. But where are you going to search these jobs? So the most key, there are so many websites, but number one website which I recommend for you is to use Indeed, Indeed.com. This is the biggest job search in America or in the world. So when you go to the Indeed.com, instead of writing, for instance, my background, I studied political science bachelor's degree. My master's is peace studies and conflict resolution. From that particular angle, I also speak Swahili language. I have experience in Africa. So those are some of the things I have. I have experience here in America, I have experience in Africa. Then I come, what are types of jobs I'm able to do? Based on my experience, based on my education. Oh, I can do something related to education, advising, admissions. I can do anything about NGO related. I can do about administration. I can do about analysis, policy. So you highlight what angle do you need. You go to the Indeed. Number one, instead of searching the job like academic advisor, yes, you can search academic advisor, but sometimes if you go like direct as academic advisor, it will be difficult to compete with other Americans who know the best of the American education, the cultural background of America, the psychology and everything on how to advise the fellow American. But because I have international background, if I apply as international student advisor, I apply as international admissions officer, I'll be able to compete with most of the people and I can be the best candidate. So you see, instead of going to apply academic advisor, I'm applying as international student advisor. Why? Because I know American education, I know American culture, I know international or African culture, and in application process as international student. So when I go to the interview, I'll be able to be the best candidate compared to normal American. You have to find what edge do you have over Americans, over Europeans, over Canadians in their own country. So when you are looking for jobs, first of all, look for jobs which they give you the added advantage. Your accent, your language, your culture, overall, working overseas is going to be added advantage against another person. Those are the things you need to use. So when you are looking for jobs, instead of looking academic advisor, you look for instance international student advisor or admissions officer. Let's say I'm going usually to write, for instance, the jobs when I'm going to search, where they say what, like you put the keyword, instead of putting the title of the job, I put the country like Tanzania. If I put Tanzania, it searches all the jobs with the word Tanzania. So when I'm looking for those jobs, there are certain jobs they say we are looking for someone, or this organization is also working in Tanzania. I can give you an example. Yesterday I was talking to a friend of mine, and what I was talking to, who is a green card holder, we had just a very long discussion. One of the job which we are talking the same thing. So this job I put Tanzania, and it had you cannot see from that angle, but it is a program officer job. It's a program officer, greater internet freedom. This job, the salary is 80,000 almost 81,000 to 102,000 amount they're going to pay. But this job, they say, this is a remote-based position with reference given to applicants based on the east coast of United States or in Tanzania, Kenya, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Moldova, Lithuania, Liberia, Mali, and South Africa. So it means the person who is applying for this job has to be either a citizen of that particular country or has a work permit in those countries. So someone who lives in Kenya, who lives in Tanzania can apply for this job. Program officer. So you see what I'm going to do. So for instance, let's say I'm from Tanzania, or let's say someone is from Kenya. By applying this job, you have higher chances to get this job. Why? Because this job, they want someone, this position will support Global Internet Freedom Initiative funded by USAID. Internews launched in 3 years initiative, August 2020, enhanced blah, 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 blah. So they talk about this one, but in the end of this one, having the cultural background is added advantage. So if a non-American who has never traveled out of America, and you or me who is going to apply for this job, you or me as immigrant will be in a position to get this job than any normal American. You see, when I talk about the tricks you have to do, there is another job in my organization was announced. That job when it was announced, they want the person, among other things, the job description, blah, 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 blah. They put also on Indeed. Among the experience, they want someone who speaks Luganda or Swahili or Kinyarwanda from Africa. So obviously that person will be immigrant from those countries. Or you speak Malagasy, you're from Madagascar. Because those are the countries we work with. So you'll be having added advantage over Americans. So one of the way when you go to the Indeed, instead of searching by the job program officer, I search by the word Tanzania. I search by the word Kenya. I search by the word, I'm going to search by the word Nigeria. So I'll get the job specifically, the job which needs someone with experience from that particular country or from Africa in general. Sometimes I search by language, Swahili. Sometimes we search by the word immigrant. Sometimes we search by the word Africa. That means you get the jobs with the keywords Africa. You have to find different ways where you can get the job. So there is something called what on Indeed and where. So, but when you say where, in most cases, it doesn't, if you put Tanzania, you don't get most of the companies say that way. So for instance, if I say the word Kenya, for instance, on the word what on Indeed, the first job is coming here is UNDP GEF project on reducing maritime trafficking. There is this program officer, I use the word Kenya because of that. East Africa media analyst, Swahili and English. This is a remote job. So this job, you are in America, they say they want someone, the winning candidate must be an English and Swahili language speaker with analytic mind and sophisticated understanding of current events and international affairs, especially in East Africa, including Kenya. A bachelor's degree, outstanding writing skills in English, and proven experience in the fields such as journalism, international relations, diplomacy, strategic communications, intelligence, consulting, and the like are required. Additional postgraduate education in leadership skills, familiarity with social media, analytics, and additional language fluency are all advantage. The East Africa media analyst will be part of a larger team and must be willing to work unconventional schedule, including evening shifts and possibly overnights and weekends. Work shifts may be performed remotely. So, one of the responsibilities is to monitor a set of local and international print broadcast and social media sources in English and Swahili, selects and assess information according to both set and dynamic criteria, blah, 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 blah. So if I apply for this job, the qualification, bachelor degree in relevant discipline like international relations, political science, history, sociology, or similar field. Strong interest in and knowledge of international current events, blah, 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 related to East Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, blah, 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 blah. So, if you apply the job like this way, why can't you get it? Americans cannot compete with you. Canadians cannot compete with you on this type of job. Why? I have a degree in political science. I have masters in conflict resolution, international affairs. I speak Swahili. I know the African culture. I'm very good in social media in Africa. I'm able to do teamwork. I'm able to do this. So when you apply, you put all those kind of things, you are going to get the jobs. And the job, you will still work in America, but you work as international. My current position, currently I'm working as a director for Africa in a non-profit organization. This non-profit works in 19 countries around the world. In Africa, we work Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, and Madagascar. When they announced their position, they wanted someone who speaks either Hindi or Swahili or Tagalog. Among the added advantage, for me, born and raised in Africa, even if I'm already in America as an American citizen at the time I'm applying, all my experience being from there were added advantage, plus my work experience here. What I'm doing on scholarships, youth, everything were added advantage. So sometimes you have to find, first of all, where can you have the added advantage, an edge towards other candidates where they cannot be able to do that. If you are immigrant and you have already become the US citizen, go and apply for jobs for the foreign service. If you apply to become a diplomat, speaking a foreign language, to live overseas, you get extra points. It's added advantage. If you apply to become a director of Peace Corps, for the country director, director of programs, director of training, you apply for those jobs. One of the conditions is you must be, at least you have lived in at least you lived or worked at least 2 years overseas, especially in the poor countries. I lived in 27 years in Africa. Speaking foreign languages added advantage. I speak Swahili. So when I did the interview to become a director of Peace Corps, I got the job. Among other things, those are the reasons. But the COVID hit and everything changed. But I had the added advantage because of those backgrounds. So when you are looking for, you want to transition from these minimum dollar jobs to go to the professional, especially if you are not in the science, because in science you can get easy job. I mean, you are IT, whatever, those you are nurse. Those doesn't affect anything. You work in IT, you work as a nurse, but you work in social science. These are the things to look at. And then you can start looking for other. So Indeed is the biggest job search for you. Then from there, you start looking for other, simplyhired.com. You can use that one. Idealist, I will put all the links of this web search on my description of this video. So there are so many links you can use to search. But being immigrant can give you added advantage. And if you're immigrant, you're already a US citizen, start applying for the federal government jobs. Those are the easiest to get. I mean, you have to apply many, but they're easiest in this sense. In order to get a federal job, there are what we call scales, GS1 to GS15. So for instance, if you apply any job with GS7, you need to have a bachelor degree. If you have a bachelor degree, you don't have work experience even one day, you'll be able to get a job. But if you have work experience, you can use a bachelor degree with a certain experience to apply for GS9. But if you have master's degree, you don't have any one-day experience, you can apply as GS9. GS9 is the job which you get at least nearby 60,000 US dollar per month. Per year. 60,000 per year. GS7, you get 45 to 50 something. If you have PhD, because there are some people come here with a PhD, and you become a US citizen, you apply for the federal job without any work experience, you start with a GS11, over 70 something, over 70,000 US dollar, 75, whatever in the above. So sometimes it is easier to get the job on the federal government because there are position when the start position of that scale just require education. And you have bachelor degree, it doesn't matter whether the bachelor degree is from Ghana, from Kenya, from Tanzania, from South Africa, from Sudan, from Philippines, from wherever, you can get the job. That's why I usually tell people, you have to make a decision. Do you want to continue to be green card holder forever, or you want to be a US citizen? If you want to become a US citizen after 5 years, if you're a green card holder after 5 years, you are allowed to become a citizen. But if you get a green card by marriage, you can become a citizen within 3 years. If you are green card, let's say even by lottery, today you become green card holder, you join the military, you'll become a green card, you become a US citizen before you graduate boot camp. You can join as enlisted, you can join as active, which is a full-time, or you can join as part-time as a reserve. So you can join as a reserve, still you are given citizenship, and then apply federal job. So you become a federal employee within the first year you arrived in America, because you are already a US citizen. They don't care about work experience. You have a bachelor degree or you have a master's, you start with GS9 right away within the first year you are in America. So you have to find different ways on how you can utilize this system, how you can beat the system and work on your own advantage. So those are the things I want you to understand. Don't settle at all for the job you have. You come here, you work at, let's say, Amazon warehouse. You work on Amazon, you get $20 per day, per hour. Don't settle because you have just that $20. What if you find, if I get, I become forklift person, if I do this one, I get 25. Get that something added. Keep adding. The sky is the limit. If you want to become a governor, you can be a governor. If you want to become a millionaire. So find different ways to keep excelling here in America. Don't compare your life just because you are getting $500 per month or $1,000 per month in your country. Now you make $3,000. It's enough. It's not enough. Remember, you are using $3,000 in American life, not in Africa. You are using here. That's not enough. How much are you going to save for the college of your children? How much are you going to save for your retirement? Those are the things you need to ask yourself from day one you are here in America. So, the job search engines, I'm going to put you there. Remember, you have to use these keywords, different keywords, which can be able to relate to your background, language, locations, things which can give you advantage. Because if job is just a program manager or to become accountant, just general, but if it's accountant for international organization which works with African countries or Asian countries, and you're from that particular region, you have added advantage than just normal accountant. If you're a lawyer, you become immigration lawyer. It will make a lot of sense because you are also immigrant. That's why you find most of the immigration lawyers are immigrants than constitutional lawyers. So you have to find, even for myself, if one time I wanted to go to law school. If I have to do a law school, I'll do to become immigration lawyer because I'm immigrant and this is work on my end than becoming just to become someone like a person who is let's say, going to help someone is constitutional lawyer or a criminal attorney. Those are might be difficult. I can do, but it will be difficult for me compared to immigration lawyer, which works as myself is doing with immigration. So you have to see what area is your strength. Don't take, oh, I'm from Africa, I lived here for 1 year. So all these are disadvantages. Turn them to be advantage. Turn them to be on your side, so that you can be able to beat everyone on your own style, on your own backyard. Thank you. I believe that has been to be helpful for you. Remember to share this video to others. The aim is to make others benefit from what we know. Despite sharing the music, despite sharing the comment, share good information, these tricks. And even if you are in Africa, you are looking for jobs overseas, the same tricks you can be able to use to find the jobs. If you are immigrant here, you are looking for other jobs you can be able to do. Find a job you can be going to work overseas as American expat overseas. There are jobs with the different organizations. They will pay everything for you to locate to be working overseas. Or apply to work with the United Nations, UN jobs. Go to the unjobs.org. When you go there, find the jobs based on the location. Because there are some of the jobs for you being, I'm American, but if I say I want to go to work in Kenya or Tanzania because of the Swahili, or working in Africa in general, I will have added advantage than American who is applying to go there. Or a green card holder, you can go and work other places as expat. You can apply, if you're a green card or a US citizen, apply to work on the US embassies overseas, not just as a diplomat. There are jobs which are announced. For instance, if you go to the US embassy in Liberia, US embassy in Nigeria, US embassy in Khartoum, US embassy in South Africa, whatever, in Tanzania, there is a place called the jobs. Those jobs, there are some, if you, for instance, you are from that particular country, you are a green card holder, you can apply as a citizen of your own country, but who is a green card holder? So you can find different ways to get jobs and do higher level profession. So thank you again. I appreciate your concern. I appreciate your appreciation. And thank you each and everyone.